Here at Whiteman, it's not lost on us that we are flying every day the world's most strategic aircraft, OB-2. We also know to be able to maintain that edge and continue to be the world's most powerful and capable Air Force, we have to stay ahead of the game and be innovative in our approach.
We had an issue, kind of a long-standing issue, frankly, with this airframe mounted accessory drive. This is called the AMAT panel, and this sits in the left side of the cockpit, just outside of the left knee of the person in the left seat, and you can see the four switches. Well, when one of these switches goes the wrong way in flight, some interesting stuff can happen with the engines, electronics, and hydraulics. And we wanted to make sure that they were protected.
He does a good job in the community, developing relationships here locally, and has developed a close relationship with the Knob Noster School System Superintendent, Dr. Jared Fielder. He knew from that relationship an impressive robotics team that they have over there at the high school. In fact, he reached out to Jared and said,
is there a way that we could partner where Whiteman Air Force Station, 509 and 131st Bomb, could partner with your robotics team at Knob Noster High School?
Many people think, what does the superintendent do? He's like a moving God and walk around and wonder. I can tell you here at Knob Noster it is. Because when we put opportunities like this in front of our students, they stepped up, they rise to the occasion, and they nail it.
it's not very often that the superintendent comes to your school, into your classroom, and says, we need a giver from this class, this robotics team.
What we know is that when you have strong schools next to installation, military facilities, that strong schools make installation strong.
Like any adjacent school to any military facility, we have a great connection with Whiteman. You'll notice that our logo is the Knob Noster Panther with the spirit behind it together. And from the very beginning, that was the idea, was to make it a cooperative kind of effort and everything we can do to bring those two entities together.
Then 72 hours from initial design concept, 72 hours. This team of high school, family-related, super smart students printed 72 hours from initial design concept and final product at the grand total cost of $1.25.
This part is going to cover the foreign purchase switches and $2.2 billion aircraft.
It was impressive to see the ingenuity and the initiative of each of these students. You know, they're young high school students, but they're incredibly smart. And they're the type of people that we need in the future of our country, and certainly in the future of our Air Force, as we continue to modernize and stay at the forefront of technology so we can maintain our dominance in air power throughout the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of our nation's colors by the Knob Noster Triad Air Force JROTC cadets, and remain standing for the national anthem being sung by Knob Noster High School students Abigail Collier, Christine Sturgill, and Jane Yates. Thank you. You may be seated. So you just got to hear from three of our best. That's a hard act to follow. Nice job, ladies. You make us proud. So once again, it's a great day to be a Knob Noster Panther. My name is Jared Wheeler, and I'm the superintendent of schools here in Knob Noster. I would like to begin today's ceremony by taking just a few moments to recognize our amazing students here in Knob Noster. Students, I know you get tired of hearing it, but your teachers and your community are incredibly proud of you and your extraordinary accomplishments. In our classrooms and on our courts, fields, and stages, you continue to model and exemplify the citizenship that is the hallmark of our great nation. Today and every day, you make us very proud. And as you know, standing behind each of you are some of the greatest teachers in the nation. Your teachers have committed their lives to helping you be the very best version of you that you can be. Today, and wherever your future takes you, I know you will find comfort and confidence knowing you will forever have this team in your corner cheering you on. Teachers, you don't hear it enough, but you are appreciated and your work does matter for our students, our families, and our nation. I would also like to thank our distinguished visitors here on the front and second row. Students, it is unlikely that any of you have met most of these people before today. However, these partners continue to work tirelessly in Jefferson City and in Washington, D.C. on your behalf and on the behalf of students like you across our state and nation to ensure the right programs and supports are in place for each of you. The mission of joining forces is to come together to support those who also serve. Assembled here with us today are some of the greatest champions to public education in our state and nation. On behalf of our students and our team, I send a heartfelt thank you to each of you for your partnership and for joining us here today to celebrate this exciting time in the history of Knob Noster Public Schools. Over the last several years, the students and teachers assembled in this room today have forged a remarkable path in pursuit of excellence in academics, citizenship, leadership, and patriotism. Altogether, these efforts have landed Knob Noster Public Schools as one of the top military-connected school districts in the nation. With nearly 70% of Knob Noster students being connected to the Whiteman Air Force Base mission, our team has assumed responsibility not just to serve our own students, but also to serve as a leader, model, and advocate for military-connected students across our nation. Today, it is my tremendous honor to host First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden, and United States Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona, to recognize April as Month of the Military Child and to celebrate the ongoing exemplary achievements of our Knob Noster students and teachers. Thank you once again for joining us today, and at this time it is my pleasure to invite our stage party to visit with you. Again, thank you for being here.
so excited that each one of you guys are here today. My name is Tony. I am a junior here at KNHS. I've gone to Knob Noster since kindergarten, and ever since it's been such an amazing experience coming here each year. So a little bit about me. I play baseball and football at the Knob Noster High School, and each year is just another spectacular year. Coming from like all the staff and other teammates and students here at Knob Noster. Like the energy and community is just very welcoming, and it's just an amazing place to be at. Knob Noster has made me feel a part of something great and like just overall amazing, and it's just a place to be for everyone. I'm sure others can agree along with me, but yeah. Here at Knob Noster, we are a family, and I've been so blessed to interact with everyone and create a culture where everyone is welcomed. And I'm sure, like, you know, people with like military children, with military parents, you know, it's difficult moving schools, but here at Knob Noster, it's not a problem whatsoever because everyone is open, are greeted with open arms, and it's just an amazing place to be. You know, I have friends and that are military children, and you know, I'm not a child of the military, but even though they we come from different backgrounds, we're all so connected and just a huge family overall. I'm so proud of our community, you know, for achieving academic excellence, and I hope that we continue to grow and continue to just be successful as a school in general. I'm so proud to be here and speak for KNHS and Whiteman, since both have contributed to being a military-affiliated school, and it's just been a great ride so far. So, like I said, I'm not a military child, but my grandfather, he was in the U.S. Army, and he's been a big inspiration ever since he's passed away, you know, in sports and just in the military in general. And right now, I'm so glad to be in part of Triad ROTC. For the past 3 years, it's been such an amazing place to be, where the instructors and just like the environment there, it helps like young students prepare for military life. And that program connects 4 schools: Knob Noster, Warrensburg, Lamont, and Crestridge. And I think that's just a great way to unite all the young kids ready for the military. Anyways, I'm so stoked to hear what all of our wonderful speakers have to say today. And because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This rarely comes across anything. And like I said, I'm so proud of our school to be able to be here today and talk to you all. But I'd like to welcome you all to our Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. Dr. Miguel Cardona served as the 12th Secretary of Education. Prior to this appointment, Secretary Cardona served as a Commissioner of Education in Connecticut. Before serving as Commissioner, Secretary Cardona served as a public school teacher, principal, and assistant superintendent, earning multiple honors and recognition for outstanding leadership. Cardona's approach to leadership focuses on partnerships, which is one reason why he's committed to the Joining Forces mission. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome to the podium Dr. Miguel Cardona, the 12th Secretary of Education of the United States.
So happy to be here. Tony, you did a great job. You said you're stoked to hear us. We're stoked to be here and to hear the band. Let's give the band another round of applause. I have 2 high schoolers at home, a senior and a sophomore, and when I go into their school, I don't see as many banners hanging in their school, so congratulations to you all here. Awesome. I want to thank you, Tony, not only for your introduction, but for your leadership in our school community. It's so important to build bridges in our schools between our military-connected students and their peers, like you. And you're a great example of that. To all the students here with families in the military, you are among the more than 2 million kids across America with a mom or dad who either currently serves or has served in our armed forces. Your parents are courageous, but so are you. And you deserve a round of applause also, students. Never forget that. You're serving just as well as they are, so thank you for that. I want to thank our remarkable First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, for her leadership with the White House's Joining Forces initiative and for her unshakable support for America's military families. Thank you, Dr. Biden. I'm so glad I could join you here at Whiteman Elementary earlier and here at Knob Noster High School today. I know this district has already earned accolades for its leadership in supporting all your students, including over 1,000 military-connected students that it serves. And I want all of you, teachers, staff, and students to know how much I admire your work to welcome military-connected students into your community and make sure they have the supports they need to learn, grow, and continue to thrive. Before joining President Biden's team, I served as Education Commissioner in Connecticut, a state that, like Missouri, has deep connections to the military. The experience of working with educators who serve children of service members stationed at our Air Force and naval bases really opened my eyes to the unique challenges they face. The PCS moves, the academic disruptions, the added stress of making new friends, trying to fit in a new school. It's hard enough being a kid these days and trying to find your way into a new community. Just because our military children grow up learning to roll with the punches doesn't mean they don't need a supportive environment with teachers, school counselors, coaches, and fellow students committed to their success. That's why I'm so inspired by the work you're doing here at Knob Noster to help military-connected students build relationships, feel welcome, and create an educational environment where each and every one of you belong. And it's why I'm inspired by your commitment to helping new students connect with their peers, experience the culture of Knob Noster, like Tony said, and provide them with the resources and supports to make sure they excel academically. As the Secretary of Education, you have my commitment that our department will strive to meet the needs of districts like Knob Noster who serve military families and students. Earlier this year, I wrote to state superintendents across the country, urging them that they fully live up to their obligation under Interstate Compact on educational opportunities for military children. The compacts are intended to help military-connected students like those of you here today to get started in a new school, join extracurricular activities, meet graduation requirements, no matter how many times your family moves to a new duty station. Compacts can also connect you to resources like academic supports, career pathway programs, mental health and counseling services, and so much more. Knob Noster is a leader on this front. That's why we're here. You can be a model for the rest of the country. I want to thank you for setting an example for other states and districts to aspire to nationwide. In addition, our Impact Aid programs are there to support school districts affiliated with military bases, as they don't often get to benefit from the same revenue streams that typical districts do. So with me as your secretary, you'll always have an ally. As Americans, thank you. Must never allow the sacrifice of our military families to sacrifice the quality of education available to their children. I'm honored to be here with you, recognizing Month of the Military Child. And I'm humbled and inspired by your work day in and day out. The visit today has been exceptional. I want to thank you all. I know you've been waiting here for a little while, so I'm not sure if you get tomorrow off, but we do appreciate it, and it really brightens up our day to see so many of you here today, and the fact that you're supporting one another, it's an honor to support you. At this time, I want to turn it over to another leader, not only athletic leader, but a student leader here, Panther herself. Please give it up for Christine Sturgill.
I don't have the IQ for these papers. There we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Christine Sturgill, and I'm a senior at Knob Noster High School. I moved to Knob during my sophomore year because my dad is in the Air Force, so this is the 6th place that I've lived. And each of these places stands out in its own way, but today we're here to talk about what makes Knob Noster so special. When I moved here, the first thing that stood out was Knob Noster's academics. My parents and I chose Knob because of its many AP courses, its impressive rankings, as one of the very best schools throughout the Department of Defense and the state of Missouri. And I'm so glad we made this decision, because over the last 3 years, I've had the opportunity to take 10 AP classes with incredible teachers and counselors and staff who have helped me become the student and person I am today. And I know I'm not alone in that. However, the most unique thing about Knob Noster is not anything that can be captured on paper. It isn't our test scores, it isn't our national ranking. The greatest thing about Knob is the people. And looking at all of you guys, I know almost all of you. We're a small enough school to legitimately feel like a family. I haven't been in any other school where the lunch ladies know everyone's name, or the principal will come to a track workout and be teaching people how to hurdle. It's such a close-knit community, and that is truly unique. Many of you are also military and have moved here from various places across the globe. I'm so glad that Abby moved here from Virginia, Casey came back from Florida, Kennedy, thank goodness you're not still in England. In Knob, our diversity of experiences is the common thread that brings us all together and makes our school such a special place. But then, we don't just have our military kids, we have people who have been here for their whole lives. It seems like you've either been here 6 months or you were born here, there's not a lot of in between. But the Knobbies, as they call themselves, provide the backbone of our school. Because people constantly move in and out, but as long as the sun is rising, Lucy's going to be at Coffee Snobs with a hot chocolate and a smile. So we're known for our academics, but I think what is truly unique about Knob is its incredible people. So excited and grateful to be here today to introduce the First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden. Most of us recognize and know Dr. Biden as the First Lady of the United States, but Dr. Biden is much more than just the First Lady. She is also the mother of 2 military children. Dr. Biden has been an educator for over 3 decades. She began teaching in North Carolina, earned 2 master's degrees and a doctor of education, which is no easy task, doctorate, all while teaching and raising a family. Today, she continues to teach while fulfilling her roles as First Lady. As First Lady, Dr. Biden strives to support military families. Dr. Biden launched the Joining Forces Initiative to help educate and encourage businesses, communities, and individuals to properly support veterans and their families. That is why she's here today. To recognize our district as a model for military child education and to celebrate our outstanding academic excellence in Knob Noster. Here to help us celebrate April as Month of the Military Child, please join me in welcoming First Lady of the United States, Dr. Jill Biden.
For 13 years. So this takes me back to the pep rallies and the bands, and so it's really nice to be here with all of you. And I don't know about you guys. Do you want to move forward? I mean, do you feel like you're on stage? Come on, and help me give the speech. I know it's not easy having to change schools, especially in high school. But with running and student council, and you've become a true leader here, and that is obvious, and I know that you have a bright future ahead of you. And thank you, Leslie, for welcoming us to Knob Noster. And I also want to thank Stephanie for showing us around Whiteman Elementary earlier today. And I loved hearing from your students. And so we were just at the elementary school, and those 4-year-olds, I mean, they have like boundless energy. And I said to the teacher, how do you do this all day? And she said, a lot of caffeine and Coca-Cola. So when we landed this morning, we were greeted by incredible leadership of Whiteman Air Force Base. And with us is one of our great civilian leaders, Secretary Cardona, that you just heard from. And Miguel, you remind us that serving our military-connected kids isn't just the responsibility of our military. It takes all of our government coming together to honor their service and their sacrifice. And it takes all of our communities as well. And that's why I'm so grateful for students like Tony, who just spoke, who strengthened this school for all students, military and civilian. So I see you're the Panthers, so good afternoon, Panthers. We could hear you in the back, and I am sorry that you had to wait for 2 hours, to go through security. But they said that you were doing okay, so I guess you were okay with it. But my own students at the community college have to go through security as well, but it's never a 2-hour wait. But I'm especially excited to be here with you to celebrate the month of the military child. And, I know that a lot of you really don't know very much about me, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I, too, come from a military family. My dad served, he was in the Navy, he was on a ship during World War II. And though that was, a long time before I was born, and my own son, Bo, was a major in the Delaware Army National Guard. And in just one day after my husband's, Joe's first vice presidential debate in 2008, Bo deployed to Iraq. And as you can guess, it was a pretty exciting, incredible time for our whole family. And we were flying to different cities and, going to different rallies and giving interviews. And then we won, and it was so exciting. And when we got the news, it was like one of the best moments of our lives. But, all we wanted to do was share it with our son. But he was deployed. So we went out to the victory rally. And so before we went out on stage, we video called his unit from a laptop. And there they were all together, and those of you in the military, I'm sure can picture this. They were all together eating pizza, and as soon as I saw his smiling face, it was like something, I don't know, in my heart just clicked into place. And as we walked back into that stage, we carried that laptop with us and said, Bo, here's we're going out on stage, this is what it's like, this is the crowd. Listen to, everybody's excitement. And, it was just an amazing experience to really have him there with us. Even if it was on a laptop. And it just meant the world to really all of us in our family, and especially his little children who were there with us as well. Life doesn't stop just because you love someone who you love, is halfway around the world. Or because your parent gets the call to move to a new town. You just find ways to make it work. But I know it's hard sometimes. And I saw that with my son's children, Natalie and Hunter. And like so many of your families, we did our best to try and make up for his absence. We made the birthday parties a little bit bigger and gave them even extra attention. But we couldn't fill that empty chair at the dinner table. No one could fill it, but their daddy. I once asked Natalie what she would tell a child like herself, whose mom or dad was going to be deployed. And she said to me, Nana, I wouldn't tell her anything, because I wouldn't want her to be sad. So I understand a little bit what military children go through. You face such unique challenges, and your stories don't always get told. And so that's why I'm here today, to shine a light on what it means to be a military kid. And more than 10 years ago, I helped launch Joining Forces, our White House initiative to support military and veteran families like some of yours. And since then, I've traveled across this country and heard many of your stories. I've heard what it's like to work so hard to become captain of your sports team or lead in the school play, only to realize that the next school that you're moving to doesn't even have the program that you love. You know, I've heard what it's like to stay up late worrying about the safety of someone you love most in the world. Or what it's like to leave best friends and wonder whether you're really going to be able to keep in touch. Our non-military connected students know what it's like too. And it affects really your whole community. But I've also heard about the great parts of this journey. The chance to see different parts of our country or meet people from around the world. The friendships that are close enough to span those many miles between you, that take more work than, just walking next door. But, they're all worth it just the same. And how you learn to adapt to any situation and realize that you're capable of so much more than you ever believed. This life is really unlike any other. You face different challenges, so different from most kids your age. Challenges that the adults in your life really can't shield you from, no matter how hard we try. And parents, for the parents here in the audience, I know that there have been moments when you really asked yourself if you made the right choices for your child during your years of military service. But I hope you see how the path you've chosen has made these students the incredible people they've become. People who are ready for whatever this world has in store for them. And isn't that really what all parents want for our children? The lives of military students may not be defined by the edges of a hometown. Your school journey may look different than the ones, we see in the movies. But that's what makes you so unique. The lessons you've learned have made you strong, wise, kind, and courageous. The experiences you've had are the gifts that you have to give. You have so much to teach all of us. And that's why we have to keep telling your stories. Our world is your hometown. And as you serve and represent our nation, you are shaping it every single day. So I want to say thank you to all the military-connected kids who are here. Thank you for serving our country. May God bless our troops and their families. Thank you.